HollowBrook house had stood alone at the end of the village for as long as anyone could remember, hidden beneath a canopy of twisted, gnarled trees. Its windows were always dark, its doors always locked, and the locals spoke of it in hushed whispers, never daring to go near. Some said it was cursed. Others claimed it was the site of an ancient tragedy. But for Lily, it was the perfect opportunity. She was a journalist, brave, curious, and eager for the story that would make her career. She had heard the rumors and decided she would uncover the truth about HollowBrook. Armed with nothing more than a notebook, a camera, and her unshakable resolve, she made her way to the house. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the crumbling walls of the mansion, Lily found herself standing at the rusted gates of HollowBrook house. The air was thick with a strange silence, the kind that presses against your chest and makes it hard to breathe. The house loomed before her like an ancient, forgotten creature, its broken windows staring out like hollow eyes. With a deep breath, Lily pushed open the creaking gates and walked up the gravel path that led to the front door. Her steps were tentative at first, the crunch of the gravel beneath her boots echoing in the stillness. When she reached the door, she hesitated for only a moment before she turned the handle. The door creaked open. Inside, the house smelled of dust, decay, and something older, something stagnant. It was cold, much colder than it should have been, and the air felt heavy, as though it had been trapped here for centuries. The walls were lined with faded tapestries, their once vibrant colors now dull and moth-eaten. Portraits of people Lily didn't recognize hung crookedly on the walls, their eyes seeming to follow her as she moved deeper into the house. Lily set her camera down on a table near the entrance and began to explore, her footsteps soft but sure as she ventured through the hallways. The house felt alive in a way that unsettled her, a presence, not of people, but of something that had been left behind. She couldn't explain it, but the feeling crept under her skin. As she passed a large, ornate mirror in the hallway, she glanced at her reflection. Her face seemed pale, but she didn't think much of it, just the shadows of the dim light playing tricks. But when she turned away, she caught something in the corner of her eye, a figure in the mirror, standing just behind her. Lily froze. Her heart slammed against her chest. She turned back around, but the hallway was empty. Her breath caught in her throat. She must have imagined it. There was no one else here. But when she turned back to the mirror again, the figure was there, closer this time. Her reflection was still standing in front of her, but the figure in the mirror had its hands pressed against the glass. Its face was blurred, just a dark smudge, but its presence was unmistakable. She could feel it watching her. With a quick, shaky breath, she turned away from the mirror and hurried down the hall. Every instinct in her screamed to leave, but she couldn't. She had to see this through. She had to know what had happened here, why the house was so haunted, so cursed. As she continued her investigation, the house seemed to change. Hallways stretched longer than they should have. Doors that had once been locked were now ajar. Every corner seemed darker, the air thicker, and the silence even heavier. At times, Lily thought she heard whispers, soft, unintelligible words carried on the breeze, but when she tried to listen, they stopped. Finally, she stumbled into the library, a vast room with rows upon rows of old books, their spines cracked and yellowed with age. In the center of the room was a large fireplace, cold and empty, but the shadows around it seemed to pulse, as though they were alive. And then she heard it, a low, raspy whisper, coming from the shadows. Lily. Her breath caught in her throat. She whipped around, but no one was there. She was alone, but the voice wasn't done. It came again, louder this time, the words sharp and demanding. Lily, you shouldn't have come here. Before she could react, the temperature in the room dropped even further. The flames in the fireplace sputtered and died, and the shadows seemed to deepen, reaching out like tendrils. The books on the shelves began to tremble, as though they were alive, and the whispers grew louder, more frantic. Lily backed away, her hand desperately searching for her camera. Her fingers were cold, trembling, but she finally grabbed hold of it and began snapping pictures. The flash illuminated the room in sharp bursts, but each time the camera flashed, she saw something different in the shadows. Figures, people, moving. Faces that twisted in agony, frozen mid-scream.